Okay, so today, let's dive into something that's changing faster than ever. Technology. But, like, imagine being a doctor today. You're trying to keep up with the latest medical breakthroughs, and then you've got AI entering the scene, too. We're diving deep into this article by a doctor who's been practicing for over 20 years. Talk about a front row seat to some major changes.
Yeah, it's really something. This doctor, they started their career with textbooks and handwritten notes, and now they're using AI to analyze patient data in real time. That's going to be a wild ride.
It really does. It makes you wonder, has medicine ever changed this fast before?
It's got to be up there, right? One of the biggest things the doctor talks about is just the sheer amount of data there is in medicine now. Patient records, diagnostic tools, everything's connected, and they're using AI to try and make sense of it all.
So it's like the whole healthcare system is becoming like this giant brain.
Haha, in a way, yeah. And this data-driven approach could really revolutionize things. Imagine software that analyzes a patient's entire medical history and flags potential issues, like maybe early signs of cancer that a doctor might not catch right away.
Wow, that's amazing. That kind of AI precision could literally save lives.
Exactly. And it's not just some far-off idea either. This doctor, they're already using AI tools every day, like a digital scribe that records consultations, which I bet frees up a ton of mental space.
Oh, I can only imagine. No more staying late just to catch up on notes.
Yeah.
What else are doctors using AI for in the real world?
Well, they're using it to analyze data for managing chronic conditions like COPD, and even tools that can identify health inequalities across entire practices.
So it's not just about improving care for one patient at a time. It's about using AI to make healthcare more equitable for everyone.
Exactly. But even with all these advancements, this doctor brings up something really important that often gets lost in all the AI hype. This idea of, diagnostic fatigue.
Diagnostic fatigue. Okay, I got to hear more about this.
Basically, it's the idea that even the best doctors, they're still human, right? They get tired, they can make mistakes, miss subtle things, especially when they're seeing tons of patients.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
You can only absorb so much information before your brain is just fried.
Totally. And that's where the difference between us and AI comes in. AI, it doesn't get tired like we do, but it's not perfect either. The doctor actually mentions hallucinations, where these AI systems can come up with, like, totally wrong or nonsensical stuff.
Uh-huh. So even AI needs a coffee break sometimes, though maybe not for the same reasons.
Right. So it's a good reminder that AI, it's a tool, but it's not a magical solution to everything. It's got its own strengths and weaknesses, just like anything else.
That makes me think about something else the doctor brought up. This idea that no matter how advanced AI gets, it can't replace the human side of medicine.
That's so important. The doctor really emphasizes things like listening, understanding, empathy, those qualities that make for compassionate care, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes those human skills can be even harder to learn than all the technical stuff.
Absolutely. They actually tell this funny story from medical school about how their vocabulary was growing, but their communication skills weren't always keeping up.
Uh-huh. Oh, I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
The more you learn, the more you realize you don't know, right?
Yeah.
Especially in medicine.
For sure. And that kind of leads into what I think is the most interesting part of what this doctor's talking about. They ask, is AI ultimately a tool or a threat to medicine? Like, they're acknowledging the concerns people have.
Yeah, that's where it gets really juicy. Because on the one hand, AI has this potential to revolutionize healthcare in a good way. But you also have to think about the downsides. It's a lot to unpack.
It really is. So on the one hand, AI could make healthcare way more efficient, right? More accurate, even more accessible. Like, imagine a world where AI is helping doctors make faster diagnoses, more personalized treatment plans, maybe even predict health issues before they become a problem.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it? But like you're saying, there's the flip side. What are people actually worried about when it comes to AI in healthcare?
Well, data privacy is a huge one. I mean, health data, that's like the most personal stuff, right? And there's always that risk of it being misused or even worse, ending up in the wrong hands.
Yeah, that's scary.
And then there are the ethical questions, like how much say should patients have in using AI tools for their own care? We're kind of in uncharted territory here.
It's almost like we need a whole new rule book, right? For AI in medicine.
Totally. And of course, there's the big question of jobs. Are robots going to replace doctors and nurses? It's got to be on everyone's minds.
I bet. It's hard not to think about that with AI moving so fast. But this doctor we're talking about, it sounds like they have a pretty level-headed view of all this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're not ignoring the possible downsides of AI, but they're also, like, embracing its potential to make things better for patients.
Mm.
They even compare it to other big medical breakthroughs like X-rays or antibiotics. Remember how big those were?
It makes you think, right?
Yeah.
Whenever a new technology comes along, it's like people always wonder if it's going to change everything.
For sure. And this doctor, they're right there in the thick of it. It's like watching history in the making, how they're adapting and everything, and they make it clear. AI can be a huge help to doctors, making them more efficient and helping them make better decisions, but it can't replace that human connection. That's still so important for good healthcare.
It's all about finding that balance, where technology helps us be more human, not less, right?
Exactly. It sounds like that's what this doctor is figuring out, like using tools like that digital scribe to get the tedious stuff out of the way so they have more time to actually focus on their patients. It's a pretty cool example of using AI thoughtfully.
Yeah, not just jumping on every tech bandwagon, but really thinking it through.
Yeah, and that brings up something really important. Even with all this AI excitement, technology is only one piece of the puzzle.
Totally. It goes back to what the doctor was saying about human connection in medicine.
Exactly. It makes you wonder if all this talk about AI taking over is missing the point. Maybe the question shouldn't be, will AI replace doctors? But how can we use it to be even better doctors?
Ooh, I like that. That's a much better question.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the fear of the unknown. But what if, instead of being scared of AI, we use it to actually make healthcare more human?
Now that's an idea worth exploring. It sounds like this doctor is really leading the way.
Totally. And they touch on something else that's really interesting. This idea of using AI to make healthcare fair for everyone.
Oh, tell me more about that. That's really interesting.
Remember how we were talking about how AI can spot health inequalities in different practices?
Yeah, that was really cool.
So think about it. AI can analyze huge amounts of data, right? And it can pick up on patterns and disparities that we as humans might miss. It could be a game changer for identifying biases and systemic issues.
You're saying like AI could actually help fix some of the problems in healthcare.
Exactly. Like it could identify racial bias in treatment plans or make sure resources are going to the communities that need them the most.
Wow, that's incredible. So AI isn't just about improving individual care, it's about making the whole system more equitable. That's amazing. AI could be a game changer for making healthcare more fair.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. And, it shows how AI can do so much more than just diagnose things or tell you what medicine to take. It could completely change how we think about healthcare.
It really could. So thinking back to this doctor and their experience, what would you say is the biggest takeaway for anyone trying to understand this whole AI revolution in healthcare?
That's a good question. I think the biggest thing is we don't need to be afraid of AI in healthcare, but we can't just blindly trust it either. It's about finding that middle ground,
Right.
where AI is helping both doctors and patients.
Making healthcare more human, not less human.
Yeah, exactly. And that means thinking carefully about how we use it, making sure patients are always at the center of the decisions we're making.
It's like with any powerful tool, right? It depends how we use it. But in the right hands, AI could make healthcare better in every way.
Right.
More effective, fairer, and yeah, maybe even more human.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into AI and the future of medicine. We covered a lot today.
We sure did. A lot to think about.
Definitely. So until next time, stay curious, everyone. Keep asking questions. And remember, the future of healthcare is up to all of us.